I'm not here to sugarcoat things and try to make people happy. That's not what I'm about. What I am about is the truth, and like they say, the truth hurts. This is going to be a late upload, so I do apologize for that, but it's also a double upload, so it is what it is. But anyways, we got to talk about the main topic of this video. There's actually two topics, but overall, the one we're going to spend a lot of time talking about is no other than Mr. Colin Kaepernick. Good old Kaepernick. I don't think he needs an introduction, whether you like high school football, college football, or NFL football. You know who this guy is, or you at least heard of him. I want to make this very, and I mean very clear, I do not want any politics being involved in this situation. I don't care about politics, and that's not what this channel's about. I solely want to focus on football. So if you're wanting me to talk about politics, I'm going to let you know right now, you can go ahead and click off this video. This is not the channel for you. However, in this video, I'm going to give you the harsh truth about Kaepernick, and I'm going to be brutally honest. No intro or none of that needed. We're on the road to 200K, so if you want to help us out, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, that's cool too. Earlier today, the news broke that Colin Kaepernick was officially going to have his first workout with a team for the first time in 4 or 5 years. The team that's going to be giving him the workout is the Raiders, and a lot of people feel like that could be a good fit. Obviously, he's not going to take Derek Carr's job because I don't think he's better than him, but he'd be a good backup quarterback. Maybe saying he'd be a good backup quarterback, that might be pushing it, but I'll talk about that in just a second. Of course, you got people feeling two different types of way about it. You either like Colin Kaepernick or you don't like him. There's no in-betweens. I'm just going to read off these two comments because it describes the situation perfectly. This person said, I don't get it. He calls the league racist, which he did, but he continues to try to come back, and that got over 1,000 likes. Somebody replied to it, and this tweet also got a lot of likes. Okay, and gas is expensive, so I guess we should walk to work by that logic. He does a lot of work with the charitable foundation and needs income to contribute to that and continue to pay his bills. As you can see, that reply also got a lot of likes, so a lot of people agree with the first one and a lot of people agree with the second one. I see where both sides are coming from, and Kaepernick calling the league racist, I don't really have a comment on it. It is what it is. If he believes it's racist, all power to him. I'm not getting into that debate. That's old news. Here's another great tweet I want to show you. Quote unquote, does this come with him complaining throughout the year if he doesn't play? That's an interesting one. I haven't even thought about that. Let's say the Raiders do allow him to be the backup quarterback. Is he going to complain that he didn't get a quote-unquote fair shot? If he's going to do all of that, and we know Kaepernick, he's going to voice his opinion, I wouldn't want him on my team. I think you guys get the point. The Kaepernick situation, it's messy. What I'm about to say next is the cold hard truth, and if you don't want to hear some straight up facts, and I mean the honest truth, you might as well click off this video right now. I'm not here to sugarcoat things and try to make people happy. That's not what I'm about. What I am about is the truth, and like they say, the truth hurts. I want you to have an unbiased opinion about this as well. Let's throw politics completely out the window. What I'm about to say is strictly a football take, nothing to do with politics. The last time this man played, in 2016, he was 1-10 as a starter. In those starts, he completed 59% of his passes, threw for 2,200 yards, and had 16 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. His total QBR for the season was 49.2, and as most of you know, 50's average. I actually remember keeping up and watching the 49ers that season, and I just vividly remember how bad they were. But for Colin Kaepernick, I will say this. I didn't think he was that bad, and going off of the stats, he's a mid-tier quarterback. I have no problem saying that. He was a mid-level and mid-tier NFL quarterback, around the range of 16 through 20. And I'll even give some of you the benefit of the doubt that like him. I think you can make an argument and say he was above average and he was good at times. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. We got a major problem. Ladies and gentlemen, that was in 2016. Last time I checked, it's 2022. This man hasn't played competitive football in over 6 years. I already know what some of you are going to try to say. Oh, well, Matt, he's been training and he's been working out. Listen here, you bozo. If you're one of those said people saying that, I'm going to automatically assume you've never played sports in your life. I don't care if you train and work out for 365 days straight for 6 years. It's not the same as an in-game environment. And if you don't want to take my word for it, go watch The Last Dance where Michael Jordan talked about it. When he tried coming out of his retirement, that was only a year and a half long. When he got in the playoffs, he was out of stamina. He wasn't even in bad condition. He just wasn't used to the flow and the rhythm of playoff games and NBA games. If you think for 1 second, and let's just say for example, he comes back next year and Derek Carr or somebody gets hurt, and he'd be able to play all 16 games and not skip a beat from when he was in 2014 or 2015, you're out of your mind. It's going to take him at minimum a year or two just to get back up to speed with things. That's just one of his problems. There's many more. One of them being, he's 34 years old, about to be 35. He's well past his prime, and nowadays you got people trying to compare quarterbacks to Tom Brady, but you got to understand, Tom Brady, he's just a rare case of somebody that can play to 45 years old. Tom Brady's not a scrambler, and he eats, breathes, and sleeps football. He takes great care of his body. All these other quarterbacks that scramble like Kaepernick, they're not playing till they're 45, and I don't even think they're going to play till they're 39 or 40, at least at an efficient rate. Me personally, I would like to see him get a shot just so he could shut up and quit talking about how the NFL's blackmailing him. I do got to be 100% honest. I think there was a time where the NFL was blackmailing him because he was good enough to be in the league, but teams just didn't want all those problems, and I understand that. Let's take a look at this tweet though, and I don't know if it's satire or I don't know if they're trying to be serious. Colin Kaepernick with time to knock off the rust and prepare would be better than any option the Seahawks, Panthers, and Texans currently have. He'd be better than any quarterback, sorry Tua, that the Dolphins currently have. He'd possibly win the job in Atlanta too. That's one of the most absurd and ridiculous takes I've ever seen. 6 or 7 years ago, I'd agree with that. Colin Kaepernick, he's a solid starter in the NFL, but it's not 6 or 7 years ago. The bottom line is, the dude hasn't played competitive football in the NFL in over 6 years. To say he's quote-unquote rusty would be an understatement. As bad as the Seahawks look at quarterback, I don't think he's a better option than Drew Lock just because he hasn't played. The Texans have Davis Mills, and he looked good last year, and he's not better than Tua. The Tua slander is ridiculous as well. Same thing for the Panthers. I don't think Kaepernick's good enough to be a starter, and I'm not even too sure if he's good enough to be quarterback 2 anywhere. Here's my biggest question for those people that believe Kaepernick should be in the NFL and be a QB1 or QB2. Where's your evidence? I'm showing you facts and evidence as to why I don't believe in him. Where's your evidence as to why he's going to succeed? The only evidence you could even think of pulling up is a 15-second clip off of Instagram where he's throwing a football to some random dude. That's what we're supposed to go off of, and that's why we think he could be better than a Seahawks quarterback or a Texans or Panthers quarterback? Come on, man. It's not even ridiculous. It's almost a joke in my opinion. You can't say that and be serious. I think Drew Lock is a below average quarterback, at least at this moment, but at least I know what I'm getting. I've seen him play. We ain't seen nothing out of Kaepernick. Here's the last and final tweet I'm going to read, and we're going to get a move on. Pro Football Talk said, here's one thing I think we can all agree on. A Raiders jersey with a number 7 on the front and back and Kaepernick on the nameplate would become a fairly hot commodity. Under that tweet, somebody said, I would buy one and use it to wipe up the floors. I do agree with that take, because if there is a Kaepernick jersey out there somewhere, people are going to buy it, so maybe putting him on the Raiders is a PR stunt. Who knows? I wouldn't get too excited. He's just working out with the team. Nothing's guaranteed. But come on now, let's not overthink this. The dude's about to be 35. He hasn't played competitive NFL football in 6 years, about to be 7. He's not good enough to go out there and compete. I would love for him to prove me wrong, but he's not going to. And if you do disagree with me or you think different, you're an idiot. Anyways, getting a move on with our last and final topic of today's video, or tonight's video, I had to throw it in there, and it's no other than Justin Ross. We made a lot of videos talking about him. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He went to Clemson, dominated, but then he had a lot of setbacks, and long story short, he went undrafted in the recent draft. It came to a shock to a lot of people because many speculated he was going to be a first-round pick before he got hurt at Clemson. Fast forward in time to today, he's back in the news, and it's for what he's doing with the Chiefs. There was some practice footage leaked out where he made a ridiculous one-arm catch, and everybody's talking about it on Twitter. Even Patrick Mahomes said something about it, and I thought this was insane. He stated, the craziest part about the catch was the dude acted like this was normal after he caught it. Travis Kelce even responded to that and said, I felt like I was the only one who got hyped when I saw it live. We need more juice. I'm telling you, I've said it since day one. This Justin Ross kid is special. Talent's not a question. Size isn't a question. His work ethic isn't a question. It's just, can he stay healthy? That's the biggest fear. He also had a terrible spine injury, so that's why a lot of teams passed up on him. I really believe this, and I just got a weird feeling about it. I think the Chiefs have found a diamond in the rough. And I really hate labeling him as a diamond in the rough because he was a stud in high school and college. It was just unfortunate that he had terrible things happen to him, but it seems like he's making the best out of it. And if there's one person I want to see succeed, it's definitely him. That's pretty much everything I wanted to cover on. I'm very curious. Let me know your thoughts on the Kaepernick situation and the Justin Ross one. But with all that being said, that's gonna wrap it this video. Hope you guys peace.